Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing good. I was not planning on going live tonight, but here we are. I've been working in the new studios all day. Actually, it's been, 2 weeks. So this is not the new studio. This is the recording studio at the house, but it's also my gaming setup. And so I wanted to get on just for a little bit tonight, make sure everything was, well, in all honesty, make sure everything's working. Oh, what a process. I absolutely hate moving. I loved having the recording studio here, and then I used to have the podcast studio in the filming room in another part of the house, and it's with this thing that I'm getting ready to launch that I'm not able to tell everybody about yet that you've probably heard about. It required us to have, like, actual office space studios, separate filming space and all that, so we got all that new space. And we've spent the last 2 weeks moving in over there. It's still not done. I put this out on Instagram the other day. And in all seriousness, I need somebody to come mount 2 65-inch flat screens in the office. I have a guy that's done all the ones in the house and in this room, but he can't get to it until the week after, like the 24th. And I'm like, I kind of need it now. So, nevertheless, ordered a new streaming PC or a new gaming PC because I've missed gaming like you wouldn't believe. I've missed streaming. I've missed getting on Twitch. I've missed the podcast live streams with you guys, and I wanted to get a completely new setup for here in the recording studio because I'm not, if I want to do a live stream or I'm going to be gaming or something like that, I want to do it here at the house because it's going to be later at night. I don't want to have to get in the car, drive to the office, and do it there. So I've got a whole new setup here. Still got the recording studio and everything back there. And all that's set up and working like a gem. But now I had to get an all new setup for streaming, gaming, web conferences, this kind of stuff. So I literally have just cranked it up to see if everything worked. It seems to be working. Let me know if you're watching. Let me know in the chat. Type something in the chat. Let me know you're here. Let me know you can hear me. Is it too loud? Is it not loud enough? I see David Jones in the house. What's up, Steve? Can't wait for the Songwriter Series at Ferguson Farms. Yes, December 7th, Saturday. I believe it's Saturday. Saturday, December 7th, Ferguson Farms Hit Songwriter Series. We are only doing one this year, and it'll be the big Christmas special. I don't know if I can say who's going to be there yet. I know I'm going to be there, and I think I know one other person that's going to be there, but I don't think I'm allowed to say anything yet. So I don't think I can let the cat out of the bag yet. But we will be talking about that. And I look forward to seeing you, David. We're going to have some fun. I'm anxious to get down. I'm going to get down there to Ferguson Farms before the show. Matter of fact, here in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to see all the renovations and stuff that have been done on the barn down there. The barn. It's going to be a great place. And next year, we're going to be doing more of the Hit Songwriter Series, more like we did last year. It was one a month for, probably like March or April through all the way through the year. That's what we're hoping for. Now that everything's been done on the barn and all that good stuff is taken care of, we can go back to doing that. So I am really looking forward to that. Chandler, what's up, man? Looks good and sounds good. Good. That's what I'm hoping for. I've still got to put, now that I've changed everything up in here, I've got to put up some sound baffles right there. I spent all day today putting them up in the new filming podcast studio at the new place. Rick Murphy, what's up? Lori, what's happening? Lori Stevens. Lori Stevens is Shane Stevens' wife. And many of you may know Shane's an artist that I'm working with from Ohio. If you happen to be an Ohio State football fan, you need to go to iTunes and download the Buckeye Anthem from Shane Stevens. Shane wrote this thing. He brought it down. We went in the studio. I produced it. It sounds phenomenal. A little pat on my own shoulder. It sounds phenomenal. And if you are a Ohio State Buckeye fan, it's a must-have. You got to have it. If you don't want to buy it and you just want to stream it, I don't think the Stevens care. I think they just want people to listen to it. So you can go. You can find it on Apple Music too. You can stream it on Spotify. It's available everywhere that you get your stuff. Speaking of music that's out, it's available for pre-order now. The new album I produced for Texas artist Morgan Ashley is available right now. I think I was trying to count up the other day. I think I've produced over 250 records now. And this is one that it is in my top 10 of favorite projects that I've ever produced. Everything came together with it. The songs were right. I hooked Morgan up with Jack Williams and Troy Johnson. They wrote the title track called Wild Card. There's also a song on it called Bluff that I wrote with Morgan and April Cry. And if you pre-order the EP, you get Bluff right now. So check out iTunes, all that good stuff, and pre-order the new EP from Morgan Ashley. Like I said, it is definitely in my top 10, maybe even my top 5 favorite albums that I've ever produced. There's a song on there. I'm proud of every single one of them. But there's a couple songs on there that Morgan really trusted me to go in a kind of a different direction for her. And it's just, one of them is called Rodeo Cowboy. It's different. There is nothing out there that sounds like Rodeo Cowboy. Go check that out. I'm just proud of the entire thing. It really, really, really did turn out great. Luke says, Steve, have you heard the new Highwaywomen album? I have not. I'm just going to be real honest. I'm not a real big fan of several of the, what is it? Mega Gremlin, resub for 7 months. Solid on Twitch. Yeah, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Twitch, sub to the channel. I think tonight we're on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook is where we are. We're adding Mixer to the whole thing. I was going to do Instagram tonight as well, but that was one other thing I had to hook up that I just didn't feel like it. Thank you, Mega Gremlin. I appreciate it, man. Anyway, back to the Highwaywomen. Matter of fact, I want to look something up because I don't want to misspeak. I'm not a real big fan of a couple of the chicks. And that's just me being completely honest with you. If I'm being real honest, I also have a problem with the whole Highwaywomen thing. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, going back to the Highwaymen, I just think that was a thing that should never be tried to be duplicated. And it feels, this is me being honest, but it feels like this is a carryover from the Me Too thing. And it's like, oh, well, we had the Highwaymen, now we've got to have the Highwaywomen. And I don't dig that. I don't. Look, Maren Morris is doing well enough on her own. Why do we need to take up more space in the genre for her? And that's just my thoughts. I can be completely wrong. Lord knows I've been wrong 3 times in my life. This could be another one of those times. It's just not my favorite thing. And so there you go. There you have it. That's my opinion. But Luke, do you like the Highwaywomen? And if so, why do you like the Highwaywomen? I'll give it a listen. I'll give it a listen and see what I think. What I'm not real big on in any sort of scenario is I'm not real big on people trying to cash in on fads. And right now, there's the whole thing, not enough women are played on country music, on country radio. Not enough women are represented in country music, blah, 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 blah. Well, my opinion on that is country radio and the business follow a model called supply and demand. And country music is a predominantly female-driven market as far as sales are concerned, and women don't support other women, largely. I've done multiple videos on this. This is no new secret. I'm not letting any rabbit out of the hat here. Women don't support other women. Women feel threatened by other women, so therefore they don't buy their records. They don't buy concert tickets. There are a few exceptions before everybody goes nuts in the chat and, what about Taylor Swift? What about, name the 5 women in country music. I'll wait. That's what I'm saying. Women don't support other women. So that's why there are not more women represented in the format, is because there's not a demand for them to be there. But Luke, I will check it out. I will listen to it, and I will check it out, and I will give you an honest opinion on my thoughts. What I've been listening to over the last week is Richard Marx' new single, Another One Down. If you haven't heard that, go check that out on Spotify. I'm a huge Richard Marx fan. Huge. Love everything the guy does. We've traveled in the same circles for a long time. We've written with a lot of the same people, worked with a lot of the same people, but we've never worked together. I want to change that. It's one of my things this year into next year, 2020. I've got this list, almost like my bucket list. Is many of you know, I'm like, I can be honest, I'm winding down my career on that side of things. Like, I don't hardly write much anymore. Like, I used to write 2 times a day, 5 days a week. I don't do that anymore. I write when I want to write, and I write what I want to write. And right now, I write for specific projects. Like right now, I'm writing music for a film that's going to come out next year. Actually, I'm writing songs for 2 films. So I'm doing that, and then I'm writing with the artists that I'm producing, or I'm writing with artists themselves. So I don't really do the just write to write thing anymore. So I've put together this bucket list of things that I want to do, people that I want to work with, and my focus is narrowing down on that list. And Richard is definitely one of those that I want to make happen in the next year. But his new song is awesome. It was produced by his son, and it just sounds phenomenal. If you love Richard Marx from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, this is that good, but in more of a modern style, and it's really good. I do have one little slight criticism, and that is Richard Marx has a phenomenal voice. Phenomenal. He's one of my favorite voices of all time. They overkilled it on the auto-tune in the first verse. Go listen to it. You'll hear it. If I can hear the auto-tune, I don't like it. And there's no reason to auto-tune Richard Marx. So if I have, one thing about that, it would be that. But it's a great song. I've been listening to that. What else have I been listening to? I've been listening. You know what? I've been listening to a lot of 80s stuff. And I don't know why. I think because I'm trying to get inspired to actually write more music. And so when I do that, I need to go back and I need to get back in touch with the songs that I love and the songs that I grew up with that made me want to do this for a living. That's probably what it is. So I've been listening to a lot of Richard Marx, a lot of Don Henley, a lot of Phil Collins, not a lot of country, to be real honest with you. I went out, I took the Jeep out over the weekend and had the top off. And I was listening to one of the country countdowns. I don't think it was the Bob Kingsley American Country Countdown. I think it was the other one. And I think I caught it somewhere mid-30s, maybe. And I didn't even know what I was listening to. It just, I don't know. It's like the song by song by song, it was just like, there's nothing here. So maybe that's why country has not really been on my playlist for a little while. I'm hoping that it might. Because of working with Morgan, I have to say this. I have been listening to a lot of like Red Dirt and Texas country. That I'm liking. You know, look, those guys, most of them are not the most talented on the face of the earth, but they're making decent music. It's honest anyway. It's authentic. You know what I mean? And that I can appreciate. That I actually enjoy discovering new music. Am I a big Eagles fan? Absolutely love the Eagles. Love the Eagles. One of my top 5 concerts I've ever been to was I went, what year was it? 93, 94, 95. I went and saw them on the Hell Freezes Over tour. And it was a phenomenal concert. It was amazing. So yeah, huge Eagles fan. Speaking of the Eagles, the other day I was listening to the Common Thread album. Again, though, that's from the 90s, you know. All the Eagle cover songs with the country artists. A great record. I can't believe there would be anybody out there who has not listened to the Common Thread album. If you've not listened to Common Thread, go listen to it. It's awesome. I know for sure you've heard Take It Easy with Travis Tritt. And matter of fact, that song on the Common Thread album was responsible for getting the Eagles back together. They were never going to play together again, ever. And Travis Tritt got those guys together and got them in a room. So you can thank Travis Tritt for bringing the Eagles back together. True fact. Rick says, been on a break from Nashville Music Row country myself. Oh my God, yeah. I just can't. I can't do it. Not only do I just don't want to do it. I have to out of everything that's new out there right now, I do like Luke Combs. I really like it, and I like him for a couple of different reasons. I like him because he is who he is, and he's made a career for himself being who he is. He's a decent songwriter. He's surrounded himself with good people, but not only that, he has surrounded himself with he is dancing with the ones that brought him. None of those guys were known songwriters. Nobody would write with them in town. And they've all now had consecutive multiple number ones with Luke. And I think that's awesome. Don Henley, one of my favorite vocalists ever, says Luke. Yeah, Don Henley's amazing. I love everything Don Henley has ever done. Ever, period. Walk Away Joe by Trisha Yearwood. If you listen closely, that's Don Henley doing the background vocals on that song. One of my favorite songs of all time. It's a phenomenal song. Love the Eagles. It's kind of a sad thing that I don't know that we'll ever see something like that again. I don't know that we'll ever have another Eagles, Gary Goen says, what's your view that women are banned from country radio? Really? I think it's because it's lame. I kind of hit on this a second ago. I'll rewind. Women are not banned from country radio. There's just no demand from the fan base for them to be on the radio. Like I said before, women don't support other women. So women make up the majority of the fan base of country music. They listen to most of the radio. They buy the concert tickets. They buy a majority of the music. When they hear a female on the radio, 9 times out of 10, they change the channel. Radio stations do not want you to change the channel, so they're not playing female artists. Period, end of story. Outside of 3 to 5 artists, most female artists can't tour on their own. They have to tour with a male act to have a draw. You can say I'm sexist. You can say whatever you want. It's the fact. Martina McBride, one of the most popular female artists in the format ever, has to team up with a male act today when she goes out and tours. Because if she were to go out on her own, nobody would buy tickets. Just the way that it is. It's not that they're banned on country radio. It's just that country radio is in the business of servicing the demand of their listeners. There is no demand among their listeners to listen to female artists. From a female artist perspective, part of that reason is you can't tell one of them away from the other, separate one from the other. They all look exactly alike. They all sound exactly alike. They all sing the exact same song in different various ways. So, there you go. It's, you can sit around all day long and, why aren't there more black people on country radio? Why aren't there more black artists? We hear this all. Why aren't there more Hispanic country artists? Why does it always have to be women? That's what I don't get. Jimmy Allen, other than Darius Rucker, who's now going off and doing Hootie and the Blowfish, which is great. But Jimmy Allen is the only African-American country artist on the radio. The guy's already had one number one. He's got a top 20 right now. May go on and be another number one. But, you can come down to Jimmy Allen, Darius Rucker, and Charlie Pride. If you want to talk about discrimination in country music, there's been 3 black successful artists in years and years and decades and decades and decades. Things were different. And I'll expand a little bit and I'll go on. I'm going to get in trouble for this. I don't give a shit. Women played a much bigger role in the 80s and 90s in country music. And I think I understand why. I think I know why. When you go back to the Martina McBrides, even Leanne Rimes, Reba McEntire, Trisha Yearwood, I know I'm forgetting a lot, but they were more entertainers. And right around the early 2000s, when country music decided that they wanted to turn the format over to 12 and 13-year-olds, and we weren't concerned with selling music anymore, we wanted a piece of the pop music world, the shorter the pants and shorts got on the female artist and the more crop tops we started seeing, the less there was a demand. Because for the most part, you can blame the labels, you can blame whatever you want. They are still aiming for a majority of the pop dollars, so they want the female artists to look like the female pop artists, which is not cool with 98% of women country music fans. They don't like these chicks running around in 2-piece thong bikinis, and that's the image they're putting on album covers. That's the way they look in videos and they are threatened by that. They don't like that. That wasn't that way in the 90s. if you go back and you look at female artists through the 90s and early 2000s, the most what I don't even know the right word, like the sexiest, if you will, that was kind of like, oh my God, that's kind of out there for a female in country music, was Faith Hill's Breathe. When she was rolling around the sheets, people were like, oh my God. Never seen that from a female in country music before. And I say that because up to that point, the women, the female artists that were making up country music were not threatening to the female fans of country music. That all changed when country music started chasing pop. They wanted all the female artists to look like pop artists, to wear as little clothes as humanly possible, be as sexy as humanly possible. And look, to a certain extent, that sells. But the problem is that women buy a majority of the music in country music. So it's great while guys want to look at it, but guys aren't going to go buy the record. It's a little bit of a misidentification on country music's part of really identifying exactly who their fan base is. Rick says, when can I come down and see the new digs? As soon as we get it finished, man. I'm so ready to get it finished. It's not wrong. I mean, I don't like doing this kind of stuff. I like walking in and doing the show. I don't like doing all the setup and all that. And I was going to have somebody else do it. And I was like, you lazy bastard. Do it yourself. So I've been doing a majority of the work myself. I moved everything over there myself. I did everything. I was going to, and my wife, she's like, why do you have an F-250? Why do you have a truck if you don't ever? And I'm like, the first time I put stuff in to move it to the new offices and new studios. It was the first time anything had been in the bed of my F-250 since I bought it a year and a half ago. So I'm doing it myself. As soon as we get it done, man, I'd love to have you over. Dino says, damn, turn down the lows. My headphones are all bass. Well, Dino, turn down the bass, turn up the treble. Does that seem to be an issue for anybody? It's not an issue in mine. Is there too much bass for everybody? Rick says, and then they tried to put a lid on Lil Nas X. Mega Gremlin says, it sounds great here. I don't know, may just be you, Dino. You may have some of the, what are you listening on, Beats or something like that? The whole Lil Nas X thing, it's the Macarena. I mean, it's a phenomenon. I don't think that he will go on and have I'll go on record. He will never have a hit like Old Town Road ever again. Do I think it's country? No. But then I heard that piece of shit Benny Blanco song, The Get Up or whatever it is, the other day. Some country radio stations are playing that, and it's just as country as Old Town Road. At least Old Town Road had Billy Ray Cyrus on it, which is country to me. I shouldn't say that about, I think the song's a piece of shit, but The Get Up or whatever it is. He's a Sesac writer too, so I'm not saying anything bad about him personally, but I think the song's stupid. I think it's a ditty. It's a waste of time is what it is. Is there a place for it? Absolutely, but it's not country. And the people that are saying that it's country are not country music fans. That's the thing. I'm fine with the music that's being made, right? And what we're calling new country or modern country or bro country, whatever it is that you want to call it. I'm fine with calling it whatever, but it's not country. It belongs somewhere else. It doesn't belong on country radio. Unless country radio is just going to be that. But I mean, when you look at rock, you look at pop, all of those things splintered off. Like at radio stations, you've got soft rock, you've got classic rock, you've got modern rock, you've got alternative rock. All these are different genre radio stations unto themselves. In pop, you've got AC, modern AC, hot AC, urban AC. All these are different genres within pop music, adult contemporary, if you will. But for some reason, country music is either what we all classify and bunch together and call country, or it's classic country. And classic country stations are now playing things as recent as like 2010, which to me is not classic country. It's like, to me, there ought to be a modern country, mainstream country, classic country. Those ought to be three different formats. And it's hard. Well, the reason it's hard, really, is that the radio stations are playing what they're playing now because 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds are the only people listening to the radio. Adults are not listening to the radio anymore. So, and these 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds love urban music, pop music, and rap. So they take their love for that and they shove it and try to meld it into country music too. So the more country music can sound like the music they really like, they're going to support it. But I just don't think that ought to make up a majority of country music. I just don't think it does. It keeps so many people out because there are so many good artists that are trying to make this new form of country, and it's just bad. But if they could still have a career or advance their career by making the kind of music that they're known for and that they're good at, it'd be a different story. But they can't get it played anymore. I mean, to me, it's a shame that Clay Walker, Tracy Lawrence, Travis Tritt, none of those guys are on the radio anymore. That's sad to me. It's not because they're not capable. It's just because it's not welcomed. It's not welcomed in the format. If you want to talk about why aren't there more women, why aren't there any real country artists on country radio? Let's talk about that. Rick says they could have just created a new lane instead of milking country radio and left country alone. It's true. We've excluded 100 times more than we've included with this new format. I mean, half of these guys, you can't even tell them. There is no difference between Russell Dickerson, Chris Lane. There's like 9 of those guys. You can't tell the difference between them. It's the same song. It's the same beat. It's the same triple hi-hat. It's the same 808 sample. It's kick, snap, triple hi-hat. Kick, snare, triple hi-hat. And some stupid lyrics in between. Kerry says, what's the difference between Ascap, Bmi, and Sesac? There are really no differences between the three. They all do the exact same thing. They are all a performance rights organization. Ascap and Bmi, anybody can join. So if you want to get on there and join as a writer and or publisher, it's free to do so. Well, it's not free, I don't think, anymore. Somebody was telling me the other day they charged them to have a publisher account. I'll have to double check into that. It's been a while. I was with BMI for 20 years. Hated every second of it. Even when I had songs that were like banging and #1 on the charts, I still hated BMI. Ascap, I have a publishing company with Ascap because I had writers signed to my publishing company that were Ascap writers. You can only be affiliated with one at a time. Sesac, I'm now with Sesac. Sesac is private. You have to have an invitation to join Sesac to be able to join Sesac. I can say I've never been happier the last 2 years that I've been signed with Sesac. Shannon Hatch and all of the people over at Sesac have just taken extremely good care of me. and they're just great people. If I have a problem or I have a question, I can email Shannon, and she either emails me back within 30 minutes or calls me or sends me an email. And she's the vice president of creative, the vice president of Sesac. And she will either email me right back and say, Steve, sorry, I'm busy. It's going to be a little bit before I get back to you, but I'll get back to you before the end of the day or first thing in the morning. Or she calls me and says, hey, buddy, what's up? What can I do for you? With BMI, there were times when I had songs #1 on the chart. I would email or call and could not get my rep on the phone at BMI, and they would never return my phone call. Some will tell you that there is a pay difference between Ascap and BMI. But I will tell you this. If you were to write, and I've had this experience, if you were to write a song, let's say you're with Ascap and you wrote a song with a BMI writer, it's split 50-50, and the BMI writer makes more money on a song, you can take the BMI writer's statement, you can take that to Ascap and they will match it. Vice versa as well. If you're a BMI writer and you wrote it with an Ascap writer, the Ascap writer made more money, you can take that statement to BMI and they will make that right. The kind of thing out there is that BMI is bigger, BMI has more resources, and therefore they look for revenue in places that Ascap doesn't look for it in as much. So sometimes BMI pays more. However, one particular situation, there was a $50,000 difference between what one writer made at Ascap and what the other writer made at BMI. Ascap made it right and cut the writer a $50,000 check to make it right. It's all about where they look and how they look and what systems they use and all of that. So the real difference between Ascap, BMI, and Sesac, not much. They all do the exact same thing. They are performing rights organizations that collect your songwriter royalties from usage, radio airplay, all that kind of good stuff. And do not join one of those, right? Join Ascap or BMI, because do not trust any of these distributors that are offering publishing services and royalty collection services. Do not trust them to collect your royalties for you. It's easy to sign up with Ascap or BMI. Do that. Don't put a middleman between you and your revenue. There's just no need to do that. There's no real difference. People, I'll give you that. People are the difference. Because I know Shannon and everybody over at Sesac has made all the difference to me. I had a very bad experience the last year and a half that I was with BMI and in the transition of moving over to Sesac. The administration company that I was signed to screwed up my catalog really badly. Like misrecorded songs, misregistered songs, wrong name, wrong title, giving my songs to other songwriters. It was all messed up. And Shannon and Steve and some of the other folks over at Sesac got it completely worked out. And now everything's fine. So people are what make up the difference. Personal relationships. When I went to BMI, one of the main reasons I went to BMI was Shelby Kennedy, who was a rep at BMI for a long time. He's now, I believe he may be the head of, I think he's the head of TuneCore now, which I'm going to get him on the podcast. I liked Shelby a lot. That was one of the main reasons for me going to BMI. And like I said, I've got a publishing company with Ascap because we had writers that were Ascap writers, but I've never dealt with anybody from Ascap. So I can't say that they're bad people. I can't say I don't know. I've never had to deal with them in that way. The checks come. And as long as the checks come, I don't have a problem. Charlotte Ali, hey, she says, hey, Steve. Hey, Charlotte, how are you? Rick says, same experience I had with Ascap, Sesac, 100% return calls and emails. Pebbles, how's it going? Did I miss something that you had said earlier? You said it's okay. ... And I was looking to see if did I miss something that you said? I don't think I did. Clarify for me, Pebbles. Charles Thorne says, just like Walmart and Target both do the same thing, but each has its strong points and bad points. Comes down to personal preference. It's true. I mean, that's here's, and we've got it set up, and I can't say too much here. I got to think how to say this. I am going in a couple of weeks to sit down with Shannon Hatch to film something for something. And we are going to talk about Sesac, but we're going to talk about the role and the roles of performing rights organization as it pertains to artists and songwriters. I am blown away at the number of misconceptions that songwriters and artists think that performing rights organizations play in their career. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about all of that. What do performing rights organizations do? What do they not do? What do they do for some people that they don't do for other people? Look, and I'll the more successful you are, the more attention you're going to get. Okay? That's anything in life. If you're just starting out, you don't have any cuts, you've not had any success as a songwriter or an artist, you're going to get the base level attention. It's just the way that it is. A lot of people are under the misconception that their PRO, Ascap, Sesac, Bmi, make things happen, like get them record deals, all that sort of stuff. Now, they do have artist relations people. Sesac, to me, is much better at this than Ascap or Bmi. But if they are passionate about an artist, they do lift a helping hand from time to time. But it is not their responsibility. When you sign up to a PRO, okay, it is not their job to get you a record deal, get you a publishing deal, and get you cuts. That is not their job. Your PRO is not going to pitch songs for you. Now, if you've had some success and you start to have some success, yes, it's in their best interest as well to see you do well, so they are going to be involved with you more. They are going to suggest maybe that you write with this person or write with this person or go meet with this record label, and they may set that meeting up. That does not happen just because you join. They are just like anybody else. If they are passionate about you, they will help you with what is within their power to help you. But there's so many misconceptions out there. I get comments on some of the videos that I've put up on YouTube about thinking that this certain thing, these 1, 2, or 3 things, are the responsibility or job of their PRO. And it's like, if you've been sitting around waiting on your PRO to get you a record deal or a publishing deal, you're going to be waiting unless you've had success. Because, I mean, I don't know what the exact number is, but Sesac is smaller than Ascap and Bmi combined. But it's that way on purpose. That's why it's private. That's why it's invitation only to join. They want to keep it small so that they can help flourish the careers of the writers and the creatives and the artists that are a member of the Sesac family. It's small on purpose. They turn down people all the time. I suggested Sesac to a artist I was working with a couple of years ago, and they turned her down. I took Gilded, the pop duo that I'm working with, over there, and they gave them an invitation immediately. So it's that sort of deal. Jay says, how we doing, cuz? Hey, Jay. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good, man. I see you've been driving that, whatever they call those things. Think you might want to go out one weekend and not tear it up, though? Looks fun. But yeah, that's kind of the thing on PROs. The important thing, though, is that you join one and that you actually are registering your songs as you write them. Extremely important. Well, I can say I've had one experience with Ascap helping another artist, and like it took a good 8 months for them to be able to start registering their songs. Now, it ended up just being a quick thing, but Ascap wasn't reaching out to this artist or the songwriter to go, hey, this is what we need. You know, there was not, if we wouldn't have taken care of it, it would have never gotten taken care of. So I've said I hadn't had an experience with Ascap. I can say that I've had that experience with Ascap. My best advice when it comes to PROs is have some success and get an invitation from Sesac. Because I know that I love it. I'm not wearing it. I usually am wearing like a Sesac hat. I'm not wearing. I wore my Sesac hat out, and Shannon was supposed to get me some more, and I've not gone over there. I don't go downtown very much anymore. I had to go down the other day, and it's like I don't like going down there, like at all. I don't even recognize it. We need to start putting cranes on our license plates, because I went down there and that's all I saw were cranes everywhere. I was telling a friend of mine sent me a message, and I think when we moved to Nashville, like in this greater area, there was like 700,000 people or something like that, and now there's over 2 million. It's crazy. It's nuts, and the infrastructure hasn't changed at all. So the highways, freeways, infrastructure, parking that was made for 700,000 people, it's still the same for 1 million something, almost 2 million in the greater Nashville metro area. So I try not to go that way as much as humanly possible. I've got my little corner. Even the new studios and offices are 10 minutes from my house. I didn't even go downtown to get any of that. I have it right here close at home. Well, it's good to know that this whole thing's working and that the new setup is going to work. I'm anxious for the new gaming PC to come in. I ordered a brand new one. We're running off of the streaming PC now, but the gaming PC will be in. Gears of War 5 is out. I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to. I've got Monday Night Football on over here. But yeah, I'm glad everything's working. Like I said, I don't want to have to leave here to go to the studio when I want to do this kind of thing. So I had the brand new setup and everything set up here in the recording studio at the house so that I could do these, play some games, have some fun. And I just wanted to get on tonight for a little bit, test everything out, make sure everything's working. Because again, I probably should have had somebody else come do all of it, but I didn't. I did it myself. And I mean, I'm kind of glad I did it myself. Everybody needs a skill. One of these days, I'm going to walk away from the music business. I got to have something to do. I'm trying to decide right now. We're going up to Maine next month. See, I'm planning my retirement as we speak, and I am not going to live in Nashville. It ain't happening. So we've got LA as an option. We're going up to check out Maine next month, and then we're going to go check out like Montana, Utah area, and then we'll know where the final resting place will be. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting out of here for a little bit, to be honest with you. The Titans for real. Man, Kerry, I don't know. I would watch the game and I'm like, I don't know if the Browns are just that bad or if the Titans are that good. I don't know. I hope they're that good. I mean, Lord knows. Titans fans need a reason to be a fan. It's been a while. But I'm a Cowboys fan. So, and yes, the Cowboys are for real. I heard somebody the other day say they think it's going to be the Cowboys and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And I've already said, if Dallas is in the Super Bowl, the next time Dallas is in the Super Bowl, I'm buying tickets. I will go to the Super Bowl. But now that the Patriots got Antonio Brown, of course, I mean, everybody kind of knew that's how that was going to shake out. Move out to Hinckley, Ohio. Dino, I don't think I will be moving to Hinckley, Ohio, but I appreciate the invitation. One of the colleges my daughter's looking at is Ohio State. But I've been up there with Shane and Lori Stevens, and I liked that area up there. Kerry says, Jags and Colts lost QBs. Texas traded best players. Check out Smith Lake in Bama. I'm leaving the South. Honestly. Like, and it may end up being two places, in all honesty, because I have to be in LA for work. So I'm there a lot now, and as things progress, I'm going to need to be there even more. So it's probably going to work out to where it's like LA area part of the time, and then like either Maine or like Utah. Because this whole thing with Montana and Utah and all that, I never thought I'd want to live there. And then about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I had never watched Longmire. And I watched one episode of Longmire, and I ended up staying up for like 6 days, 7 days straight, and watched every season all the way through. And I just loved the scenery, and he'd walk out on his front porch, and I'm looking like, okay, that's what I want to walk out of my front door and look at every day. Although I'm not an outdoorsy person. I'm not like a camper or any of that. I hate bugs. I hate camping. But that is what I would like to look at. I'd like to hop on the four-wheeler and just go riding for hours and hours and see all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, Yellowstone came out. I mean, it's my favorite show and everybody else's favorite show. But then you see Montana. They film Yellowstone in two places. They film it. The ranch that you see, the Dutton Ranch, is in Montana. But the rest of the show is filmed in and around Park City, Utah. And I love the look of the geography of watching the show and all that. But then I also love the ocean. So, like I said, we're starting this thing of going and looking at where we think we might want to be. So me and the whole family are loading up. Going to hop on an airplane next month. We're going to fly to Boston. Then we're going to rent a car in Boston, and we're going to take, I think it's Highway 1, up the entire coastline to Bar Harbor, Maine, where we'll stay for a week. and then we'll come back down and stay a couple of days in Boston. And then come back to Nashville. And then we'll go, make another trip out to Montana or Utah. My in-laws have a place in Utah or in Montana. And they send pictures all the time, and it's absolutely beautiful up there. And then my buddy, Jacob Young, he makes it work. All the filming, he's an actor, so he's constantly on film locations and stuff. But even when he was on like Bold and the Beautiful, he lives in Utah, but he would commute and go back and forth between Utah and Los Angeles. So, I know that's possible because he did it for years. And even now, he still lives in Utah, but wherever he's filming, he just flies out and flies back in. So we'll see. I don't know. But going back to what we were talking, circling way back around, just where the business is right now is I don't enjoy it. I enjoy working on the projects that I choose to work on. Let's put it that way. Working with artists like Shane Stevens, it's what keeps me going. I love it. We're going to produce a brand new, I don't know if I should say that. Lori or Shane, are y'all in here? We're going to be working on new music with Shane, the new EP. Looking forward to that. I'm working with an artist in Chicago that his music I'm very passionate about it. I love making it. I love creating it. I love producing it. The Gilded Girls, love working with them. So I'm at a point where I don't have to just do anything, and I don't want to do anything anymore. I just kind of want to focus in on the projects that I really want to work with. My next thing is I want to find a band. I'm looking for a band to work with, to produce. So if anybody out there knows a band, and I'm talking a true band, 5, 6 guys, or 3-piece, whatever, and I don't want it to be country, really, please. But I'm looking for a band to develop and produce because the last time I did that, I really enjoyed it. And I'm talking about guys that play their own instruments. That's really kind of what I'm looking for right now. And it really needs to be in the rock genre. Alternative rock, modern rock, somewhere in there. I've been looking really hard for about 6 months, and I can't find anybody yet that I just really want to work with. I found one, and then I talked to the lead singer and realized that I wouldn't touch that guy with a 10-foot pole. Attitudes are everything. And in a scenario like that, I'm the only one allowed to have an attitude. It's just the way that it is. But I've really got my eyes open and set on finding projects that I really want to be involved with and that I really can sink my teeth into. Dino says, I can help you with your setup next time I'm in Nashville. I have a game streaming PC set up and a live podcasting. Geraldo does live there. Yeah, I think I about got the setup finished now. I'm waiting on the new gaming PC because the old game I've had a 2 PC setup for I don't know 8 months or so. But the old gaming it's new was also my video editing rig. So I took it to the new studio. So I had to order a new gaming PC. Like right now, everything we're using is off of the streaming PC. But I bought one of those new Alien Aurora gaming PCs with a 2080 Ti. It's awesome. And the streaming PC is set up right. I've got 2 Elgato 4K 60 Pro internal cards in the streaming, one for the camera, one that'll come out of the gaming PC into the streaming PC. It's set up right. It's just taking everything out of one room and dividing it among 2 different rooms, and one's 10 minutes that way, and then this one's here, and making sure that, it's that whole thing. Mega Gremlin, it's getting ready for work tomorrow and lurking. Ah. You'll be on tomorrow, won't you? Well, you're lurking. Mega Gremlin should be on tomorrow. If you're not subbed to Mega Gremlin's Twitch channel, you should be. If somebody's on, I don't have it open. If somebody's on Twitch, give Mega Gremlin a shout out in my chat. But yeah, so more than anything, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you want to talk about anything, we can talk about whatever you want. But if not, it's about nicotine time for me, being honest. How long have we been live? I mean, I planned on coming on, being on for like 20 minutes. And how long have we been on now? I don't even know. I should know. I've got 67 windows open that should tell me. An hour and 5 minutes. So not bad. But the main reason for getting this all set up back in here is to do this sort of thing again and get back into the process and habit of doing the live streams, doing the Q&As, and being able to do them whenever we want. I'd like to get back to doing them at least one time a week. And you know, it's been doing the move and everything, not having the podcast and all of that for the last couple of weeks. I've uploaded no content to the YouTube channel for 2 weeks. It's just been because of the move, and I appreciate all of you guys hanging with me and understanding. If you guys are not members of the Music Business blog, you should be. Go to my site, thestevefreeman.com, and sign up for the Music Business blog. Because that's all like bloggy, right? It's all type stuff. So I put out more stuff there than I do the podcast or like videos on YouTube, just because it's simple. I don't have to film anything. There's nothing to edit. There's nothing to color correct. All I got to do is sit down and kind of go from here into the little fingers and out to you guys. So do that. thestevefreeman.com. Scroll halfway down. And then you can. I allow pausing on this and rewinds? And you're watching on YouTube. Yes. I think it's about 45 minutes after the live stream ends, it will go on my YouTube channel. And there is a playlist on my YouTube channel for, exactly does it say? I'll tell you exactly what it says. It says Steve Freeman Live. It's at the bottom of the page on my homepage on YouTube, and that's where you can find all the previous live streams. And it'll be about an hour after the live stream ends. It takes YouTube a little while to process the video and do all that. Check for copyright claims. I had to fight another copyright claim a couple weeks ago for using my own music, but we got it solved. So I can't complain. So yes, you'll be able to go back and rewind and all that kind of stuff. And I'm checking something, speaking of the podcast. Let me type this in. While we're talking about it. Yes, I meant the iTunes store. If computers were half as smart as we gave them credit for, all right, let me click that. Is it there? No, it's not there yet. I have uploaded it, and it's not going to be on YouTube. I've uploaded a new episode of the podcast. It is not on Apple Podcast yet. It may be on Spotify. It may be on iHeartRadio or Google Podcast or one of the others. It's not on Apple Podcast yet. I will share out the link as soon as it goes live on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. if you have not already subscribed to the Steve Freeman podcast, you why the hell not? I mean, seriously, what are you doing with your life? I'm going to put a link right there. I don't know if that showed up in everybody's. Oh, it did. Click that link. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio. It's on Google Podcast. It's on Stitcher. It's every fucking where you can get podcasts. Oh. Anywhere and everywhere you think there might be a podcast, you will find the Steve Freeman podcast. I've uploaded a new episode, and I don't know when it's going to go. I mean, it could go live at any minute. As soon as it does, I'll get a text, and then I'll send the link out to everybody. But I think this is an important episode, and it's called Everybody Hates Taylor Swift. And it's a reaction to a post. Oh, the camera battery went dead because I don't have it plugged in all the way. It's a reaction to a social media post that I saw a couple of weeks ago. And I think it's indicative of pretty much the same way that everybody feels when it comes to Taylor Swift. And I think in a lot of cases that it's just wrong. People have the wrong idea and wrong reasons for hating her the way that they do. So go check that out. There we go. I will send out the link as soon as it's available, or you can go subscribe on any platform and it'll automatically tell you when the new episode is ready. And if you're not following me on social media, at the Steve Freeman, I will warn you, I'm not good at Twitter. I'm pretty good at Facebook, but I hate it. I'm on Instagram the most. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I would love to have you follow me on Instagram, at the Steve Freeman. And I don't see anybody else. I do not see questions coming through. Oh, yeah. This is what happens with moving all your equipment around. You forget to plug the cable in to charge the camera. That means it's not a bad time anyway to wrap it up anyway. Like I said, I need nicotine anyway. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this
might be a bit rough.